What's poppin', YouTuber? Welcome to my channel, Astro Finesse. It's your boy Lil Finesse Jiggy Hippie, back with another video for y'all. And this video right here gonna be a part 2 of my Through the Energy Sign series, talking about Aquarius energy. And I'll pause for the cause. If you don't know anything about Aquarius energy, if you don't know anything about your birth chart, if nobody told you why it's so important to understand your birth chart, to study your birth chart, to love yourself and to understand yourself through astrology and numerology. If you're a new subscriber, don't worry, I got you. There's a couple of videos. I'll put the link in the description. You have to watch them first so you can become hip to the knowledge of what I'm about to talk about right now. So like I said in my in this series, this is not an Aquarius sun sign video. This is an Aquarius archetype, the raw energy of Aquarius energy video type thing. So without further ado, let's just get it popping, shall we? All right, so boom, Aquarius energy. But before we start, we gotta have a little recap of where we are up to right now. Talking about, as I say to my all these videos in this series, we are all human beings. We are all spiritual beings living a human experience. So the whole zodiac wheel represents each human stage in this spiritual existence that we're living in, or in this human existence that we're living in. So starting with Aries, Aries is like the baby stage of our life. Then we have Taurus as a toddler, Gemini is a preschool stage, Cancer is a child. Then we have Leo as the teenager stage, Virgo is the young adult, Libra is the late 20s. Then we have Scorpio as the adult. Sagittarius is like the midlife stage, midlife crisis stage. Then we have Capricorn, which is the late 50s, early 60s. And now we are at Aquarius. And what does Aquarius represent? Aquarius is like the elderly, we'll say. And I'm gonna break it down why I say Aquarius is the elderly. Before I start about that, we have to go a little recap for the beginners of what Aquarius energy is, like the basics, characteristics. And as we all know, Aquarius is a fixed air sign. And when it comes to fixed energy, fixed, I would say, the best way to describe fixed is stubborn, as in they're more internally driven by what they have set in their mind. They're really like one laser focus on things. They're really hard to move, hard to change their mindset, hard to change their viewpoint. Fixed is really fixated on one thing, very stable, very stagnant, and very fixated on whatever their mindset is, whatever their goals are set for. They are an air sign. Air rules intellectual energy, communication, things that have to do with the mind, things that have to do with progression, things that have to do with being smart, intellectualizing things, information. I'll talk about information a lot in this video too when it comes to Aquarius energy. But air is intellect. And now Aquarius is ruled by 2 planets. It's ruled by Uranus and Saturn. And now Uranus and Saturn by itself are 2 completely opposite planets. But when you put them together, they describe the Aquarius energy perfectly. And now we have Uranus. We already know Uranus represents rebellion, progression, going against the grain, doing their own thing, being against authority in a way, questioning authority in a way. As I said in my Aquarius videos, Uranus is the only planet being rebellious that wants to sit on its side rather than on a slant like every other planet. So anything that has to do with Uranus energy is just being against the grain, being individualistic, being rebellious, revolutionary, progressive thinking, just going against the norm, I'll say. And then Saturn is the exact opposite. Saturn is structure. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is authority. Saturn is authoritarianism. Saturn is structure. Saturn is stable, stagnant, likes doing things the same way, discipline, really structured in a way. So how does these 2 contradictory planets come together, create or explain Aquarius energy? Now, Aquarius energy, they are against the grain. That's the Uranus. They are individualistic. They are revolutionary, which is Uranus energy. But at the same time, they want to change the status quo. They want to change the authority. They want to change the norm and kind of revolutionize it and kind of make it their own. So they kind of have their own way of having authority, their own way of looking at things, and they are very disciplined and hardworking in their own sense. Also, that Saturn energy, especially during their younger years, will make Aquarius energy people that have like predominantly high Aquarius energy in their chart, can make them go through a lot of hardships and tribulations, kind of give them the ugly duckling syndrome, which is like, when they're younger, they don't feel like they fit in. They kind of feel left out. They don't feel accepted. They kind of feel like that ugly duckling when they first got born. They don't feel like they're a part of the group, a part of the family, part of the friendship. They just feel alone in a way when they're growing up. And as they grow up into who they're supposed to be, as they grow up into their individuality, into who they're destined to be as being themselves, as they grow up into that swan, that's when, as they glow up, that's when everybody wants to be around them. That's when they have influence. That's when all the hardships they faced during the younger years becomes into like they can actually have influence over people, and influence over society, and influence over progressing society in a way that Saturn Uranus energy put together makes them more influential into changing the norms, into changing authority, into changing the status quo, if that makes sense. And now, why did I say Aquarius is the elderly? And now, one thing that we all know about elderly people, they have a I don't care attitude about how they act, what they say. They don't care about nobody else, what they're saying, what they feel about them. They live their life. They done what they done. They could say what they want to say. They could do what they want to do in a way because they have a I don't care about what nobody else thinks about me kind of energy. If you're around elderly people, you realize they have like no filter. They say what they feel. They just do what they want. But they have no, they have no judgment of that person going to make me, that person going to think I'm this way, or that person's going to be offended. They just say what they want to say, just do what they want to do. But plus, if you are privileged enough to be around an elderly person, you will notice that elderly people are always speaking and spitting wisdom, spitting information. Like when you just sit down and listen, if you were raised right, you will understand that when you're around elderly people, you have to really be quiet and listen to what they're saying because they have lived life way longer than you. So you have to understand that they have a different view on life. But elderly people are always speaking wisdom, always spitting wisdom, always sharing wisdom in life. And now that is the Aquarius energy to the T. The mantra for Aquarius is I know. So a lot of times Aquarius people feel like that they know everything, that they know this is right. Like I said before, Uranus makes them want to always change the status quo, makes them want to always be rebellious, makes them want to always do something completely different. And also represents information, technology, internet, things that are progressively moving in the society. So when it comes to Aquarius energy, when it says I know, they actually crave and love information, getting information, learning about things, reading about things. They are the nerds of the zodiac, like I always say. So when they have a topic that they're passionate about, they can actually break it down, study it, learn about it, really dive into it. And they actually have a different way of viewing it, a different way of explaining it, a different way of talking about it than the other people. So that makes them more susceptible to saying like, hey, did you know about this? Or do you know about that? Or make them feel like I know. And then that Saturn energy kind of makes them feel, they have like that godly complex sometimes if you're more of the less evolved Aquarius energy, that the information that they know, their intellectual abilities, their smartness, their way of thinking, and make them feel like that they are above you in a way, more authoritarian in a way. So that's where you have to learn the balance of being smart, but not being too smart for your own good, if that makes sense. But all in all, the elderly energy, the elderly is speaking wisdom, talking about wisdom through what they experience and through their mindset. Aquarius energy just speaks and talks fun facts, information, wisdom. So Aquarius love information. They love knowledge. So Aquarius is really big on knowledge and information. They are an air sign, intellectual sign. So now, how does knowing this, how does that help you to understand the way Aquariuses are made up and how to interact with them, how to date them, how to get with them, basically. So the most important thing for Aquarius when it comes to being around them, even in a friendship or relationship and dynamic, is knowing how to have deep intellectual thoughts, intellectual conversations. Like they look at people to see how they think and how they view life. It's not more so what you look like or what you present yourself like, but when you're talking, they listen. They want to see how you view the world, how you view yourself, how smart you are, how intellectual you are. So to be around an Aquarius like that, you have to be typed to be open communicatively, to be open about sharing ideas, to be open about learning about new ideas, just to be open intellectually to learn about new things and to be around new information, because their Aquarius person is going to always be sharing information, studying information, and spitting that wisdom, spitting that information around. So when it comes to dating, though, the first thing you have to understand is that Uranus energy makes them always want things that are original, authentic, new, innovative, something that's not the same, not socially normal, I'll say, something that's not the same. So they're looking for someone that is very individualistic like them, someone that's very original like them, someone that goes against the grain like them, someone that's just very different like them. So to be with an Aquarius person, you have to show them up front that you are yourself. Like you're not part of everybody else. You're not part of a specific group that acts the same and thinks the same and does the same thing. You have to show them that you're different in a way by being your true authentic self. Authenticity is the key to having an Aquarius be interested in you. So this is why when it comes to dating, being friends first, and I say this in all my Aquarius videos, being their friend first, having that friendship dynamic in the beginning allows them to see how that connection grows from friendship to commitment because it's authentic. Being a friend first to being in a relationship is an authentic, gradual process. It's not you just meet somebody and then you're in lust over them, then you start to date them, and then it kind of dies off after that because it's not an authentic buildup. They actually love the friendship dynamic to build up into the authenticity. So authenticity, being friends with them first, showing them that you are individualistic, showing them that you're smart in a way, showing them that you have kind of quirky or weird interest. When I say weird, weird is just not normal. Weird is just not common. Having like uncommon interest in something and being really into it and us actually knowing a lot about it and showing that Aquarius person this or teaching them this or showing them the different way of thinking is what actually gets them attracted to you the most. So overall, everything is intellectual connection, intellectual conversation. Intellectualizing life is everything when it comes to Aquarius energy. And now understand, Aquarius is an air sign. Aquarius is a masculine sign. So they are extremely logical. So when it comes to emotions, like I always say, they're not really truly in touch with their emotions on the outwardly. They're in touch with it internally, but they don't express it out like that. And they're kind of logical. They're kind of logical. They're kind of really overly logical when it comes to thinking through things emotionally. So they also need a partner that can actually help them express themselves. That can actually help them get out their head in a way, because Aquarius energy are truly always in their head. They're always thinking about things, thinking about new ways to do things, always thinking about ways to break the mold, always thinking about ways to do things differently. They're always talking to themselves in their head. They're their own best friend. That's why this sign is really contradicting, because they are humanitarians. They kind of have a duty, or they kind of feel the responsibility of trying to take care of humanity in a way. That's that Saturn energy. Saturn makes you have discipline and makes you have responsibility, especially at an early age, but it forces you to have responsibility in doing whatever you're doing. So a lot of Aquarius energy have a duty, have a responsibility to kind of care for humanity, to take care of humanity, to think about ways to innovate humanity in a way. At the same time, they could be loners. They could be really secluded, really to themselves, really detached, really cold. So it's like really contradicting, as in you're humanitarian, but at the same time, you like being by yourself. So it's all about understanding the Aquarius energy to the T. And it's all about understanding that they can be really detached and really cold and really guarded when it comes to being close with them. That's because they actually are looking for the intellectual connection first, looking for the mind connection first. If you're trying to get with one, become their friend first and actually just talk about random topics. Aquarius energy does not have a off button when it comes to speaking and communicating about anything in life. They really have no boundaries when it comes to talking and communicating and just like thinking about new ways to do things in this lifetime. But when it comes to emotions, they need a partner that can mentally stimulate them, but then that can also help them break out of their being in their mind, being kind of cold, to kind of break them out of being more expressive, emotionally being more expressive. I'm not saying that as in they have to get with a water sign, because water signs are the emotional type. Aquarian energy does not really do well with overly emotional people. They would do well with like fire signs, air signs, especially Leo energy, because that's their opposite. Leos kind of wear their heart on their sleeve, but the Leo energy is not really as emotional as water signs. But at the same time, Leo energy will help the Aquarius energy break out of their headness, kind of break out of their rigid, fixed energy, and actually help them to express themselves. Like Leos are really expressive in what they do. Fire signs like Sagittarius and Geminis, they're really expressive in what they do. So that could kind of help Aquarius break out of their shell in a way. But all in all, the mental stimulation, mental connection is key, is first. Them having space away from people, space away from the partner is key, is first, because Aquarius energy really thrives in being able to be independent, be individualistic. They do not do well in trying to be confined, trying to be locked up in a situation, because that Uranus energy always wants to break out of things, always wants to be different, always wants to be individualistic, always wants to rebel. So the more you want to break down, the more you want to confine, the more you want to cling on to that Aquarius and what are you doing, where are you going, the more you're really trying to confine that, the Uranus energy is going to break away, is going to find a way to rebel. But the more that you're also individualistic, the more that you also have things going on for yourself, the more eccentric you are, the more different you are, the Aquarius energy person will actually become more attached to you because they'll be like, damn, this is actually something I could see myself being with, because that person is not clingy, that person is individualistic, that person is eccentric, they are original. When that friendship dynamic is built and is strong, the connection is authentic. So it's like everything the Aquarius energy actually thrives in is things that are real, authentic, not too clingy, not too emotionally heavy in the beginning. But Aquarius is a fixed sign. So once they find that partner, once they find that dynamic, that friendship circle, that friendship group, that person, that situation, you will realize that Aquarius is actually really loyal to the T, to that person, to the organization, to the friendship dynamic. They're really loyal to the T because they actually crave, in a way, they crave stability because ruled by Saturn too. They actually like things structured and stable. But they crave stability that allows them to be individualistic, that allows them to have space, that allows them to be free. So like I said, very contradicting, being free at the same time, wanting stability, but that's the Saturn Uranus energy. Both these planets put together gives you kind of a, I need my freedom, at the same time I crave and I like stability, or I like things that are structured. So finding a way to balance the two, being individualistic, giving them space, giving them freedom to be themselves, not judging them. Aquarius shows that they love you by allowing you to be yourself, to be free, to be who you're destined to be who you truly are. Not trying to confine them to a spot, to a space, not trying to confine their personality, not trying to tell them how to act, not trying to put too many boundaries on that Aquarius person will give you the leeway, will give you the freedom to actually thrive in that connection, in that relationship. If all in all though, everything put aside, everything that's the most important thing for Aquarius energy is information, is wisdom. I know. Knowing things, learning about things, studying things. So keep that in mind if you're trying to be the one, if you're trying to understand one, or if you have a lot of Aquarius energy in your chart, really focus on learning things and always grasping knowledge. Focus on sharing that knowledge. Remember, like I said, they are the humanitarians, the water bearers, so they have to pour down the water to humanity, which is share the information to humanity. Living in the age of Aquarius, information is everywhere. This is the first time in human history where we have information at our fingertips, the age of Aquarius type energy. So information and knowing things is everything. Being an Aquarius energy person, have that balance of not being too godly complex, of your having too high of an ego. Remember, being opposite of Leo, they're both prideful in a way. So Leo's prideful with their energy and their expressiveness. Aquariuses are prideful with their mind and intellect and the way they view things. So not being too prideful, not having too much of a godly complex, not being too authoritative when it comes to sharing your ideas, or when it comes to accepting others for their ideas. But understanding that Uranus and Saturn working together, the Uranus energy wants them to be rebellious. The Saturn energy allows them to be disciplined and structured and hardworking. Finding the balance between the two actually make you thrive in your energy, actually make you understand yourself fully more, and to understand the Aquarius person fully more. Give them space, allow them to be themselves, allow them to be free, and you will realize how loyal they are to you. You realize how stable in that relationship dynamic they are to you. My voice is going away because I'm a little sick right now. I'm not gonna lie, but it's ironic because that first Aquarius video I was a little sick too, so I don't know what that's about. But my voice is going away. My fault. But anyway, allowing them to be free and rebellious, not being too tied down, not being too clingy, you'll realize that Aquarius energy will work with you, and that Aquarius energy will be loyal to you. So that's my video on Aquarius energy. I hope y'all enjoyed that. My next video is going to be my last video. It's going to be on Pisces energy, and you already know I'm about to go in. If you have subscribed to my channel, appreciate all y'all for real, you already know. But if you still haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, handle that one time for your boy. Don't forget to drink your water, mind your business, be safe, and breathe. It's your boy, Lil Finesse Jiggy Hippie. I'm going to see all y'all when I see y'all. Peace.